Right, okay, so I had to be quick on this because I didn't know that Plugin Alliance were releasing this emulation of the V76. So for anybody that doesn't know, this is one of my favourite compressors and preamps of all time. Of all time. I know Dave Pensado uses it on vocals or used to use it on vocals. It's just amazing. It's in my top compressors of all time. Again, watch out that video. I'll stick a link up to that as well. So this just came out and I thought, no, what, I better be quick and see if I could do a comparison because there are other ones available. I've been using the Slate one from VMR. Audified were basically the main place that we're kind of doing this. So you've got the preamp and then you've got the Audified U73b. And then I've just put in the Arturia because I know a lot of people do love these preamps from Arturia. So Arturia do the PRE-76 as well, but they don't do the compressor. So I've tried to set this up in a way where I could do comparisons of the preamps, but also do comparisons of the compressors as well. So this is the new Plugin Alliance. So it's from, how do you say it? Is it NEOLD or NEOLD? I don't know how you say it, but either way, they have got a V76 preamp, a U73b, and a U70A, which I know the other ones don't have. But I basically just think it's like a monitoring. It's really good that you've got the mix knob for the compression, like the Slate one does. Your makeup gain, you've got an output trim as well. So I normally tend to just use this on vocals. It's basically like the thing for vocals to add some colour and really bring vocals up front. But I'm going to try and show it out on a few different things. So I'm going to try it on kick, snare, bass. And bass could be quite cool because of the distortion and stuff it can create. So I've got it. We'll do vocals last, but I'll try and kind of do this as quick as I can for you. But just because it came out today, I just thought I'd be quick. So let's try it first on kick. Okay, so this is the kick on its own. Now let's try out the Plugin Alliance. So I've got the compressor bypassed in here, okay? So this is just going to be the preamp. So let's hear what that sounds like. I think it's cleaner than the Slate. And again, let's just do a quick comparison backwards and forwards between the two. I kind of felt like the Slate was cleaning the kick drum up. This cleans it up even more and brings out more of those high mids in. And I feel that it's definitely coming to the speakers a little bit more. To me, it's acting more like analog, and you're getting more of an analog hit. And it's coming at the speakers a little bit more. Let's do a straight pass between the Arturia and the Plugin Alliance. The Arturia just seems a little bit muddy to me. I don't know if it's kind of all these other options that you have. Again, I kept the filter off as well, so there's no high pass filter in there. So I don't know. I just think that it does sound a little bit more character. It has a little bit more character than the Slate, but I think this has got the punch and it's cleaner and it actually makes this sound better in my opinion. So that was the pre's. So let's try out the compressors. A straight comparison between the Plugin Alliance and the Slate with the pre's and the compressors on. In the low mids. It's definitely in the low mids. This is definitely adding something in the low mids. They're close. I'll give them their due. They are very, very close. But I do think this is coming out the speakers a little bit more because I think it's acting more like analog to me, and it's giving you that kind of low mid boost that you would expect from a U73B, like an analog. So I would say in this instance, this is definitely the winner. So kick, I don't normally use it on kick, but it is amazing to hear that how that U73B and the pre's clean it up, and just how it brings it kind of out the speakers. It's great. It's a colour box, and that's why I love it for vocals. Right, so let's do this test on the snare. So let's go to the Slate to start off with the snare. Again, I'll take the compressor off. I've got the virtual drive on about 46 dB. So let's hear what that is doing. So as you can hear, it's bringing in those high mids, and it's just adding a little bit more of like an analog hit, and it's bringing it a little bit more out to the, and it's just bringing it a little bit more out the speakers. So again, it's a little bit of drive. That's what these preamps do. So I like what that's doing to the snare. It's giving me exactly what I want to add to the snare. Right, so let's try out the Arturia. So you can hear this thing where it's not cleaning up the snare like what the other ones do. It's just really giving you this analog hit, but it's definitely got more saturation. I would say it's got more hair to it. There's definitely more saturation. There's more harmonics there. In terms of the punch, I'd say it's maybe giving you a little bit more punch than the Slate, but I think it's close enough where I don't think a listener would be able to tell the difference. So let's see what the pre in the plugin alliance is. On the snare, it isn't doing a lot for me. I'm not going to lie, it just isn't really doing that much for me. Again, which is surprising. You know, I've got them all set the same way. Yeah, I do probably think this is actually better than the Slate, but in this instance, in terms of the punch, the V7 this Arturia is winning. It does have more punch. I think it's got more low mids, which is carrying it through, and it's adding more punch to the snare. And the Slate seems kind of weak in comparison. So in terms of this, I would say that the Pre and the Arturia wins this time for me on snare. So let's add in the compressors. It's adding a little bit of hair, but it's not enough punch for me. In my opinion, it's just not enough punch for me. You can hear a little bit of the room coming in. It's a little bit of saturation, so I'm a little bit disappointed with that. I just, to be fair, I only use it on vocals really, but a lot of people have used it on snare. So let's see the difference with the plug-in alliance. Yeah, this is slightly better. It's still there's still a lot better compressors I would personally use on a snare. A distressor would do a much better job for me, but it is better because of the low mids. Again, the Slate is lacking in the low mids. I would say that this would be the compressor for me. Again, I do think this wins out versus the Slate. Those low mids are just giving that extra little bit of punch, just to make that snare sound a little bit more out the speakers. So we've done snare, and then we will do bass. Bass, the last two is probably the most common ones that I've seen people use this on. So let's use it on bass, okay? For this, I'm actually trying to distort the preamp a little bit more, just so you can kind of see how this goes. Now, you're going to be very surprised. One of them distorts like crazy, and I don't know why, but I just find it really interesting. So let's make sure that I've got the compressor off. It's bringing out that low end. You're getting this really nice low mid, this kind of low end, and you can hear it almost like a guitar amp breaking up. You're kind of getting this break up, so you're getting a little bit of distortion coming through. You're getting a little bit of harmonics. I've done it the exact same. So right again, look, 70, right, 70 dB input gain, and then I've done the exact same here. Look, 70 dB input gain. Right, just listen to what this does. It's crazy, is it? It's mental. But that's really cool. In terms of a bass saturation overdriving this thing, I think that's really, really cool. But do you see why I had the 80 hertz high pass in? Because it just sounds really, really like muddy and just like flubby. It just sounds terrible. So that's really interesting when you crank it like that, the way I had it set. And I think I used like a bass preset, and it just, you could get more out of it in terms of drive than the other ones. You can only really crank the input, and that's really all the drive you can get out of it. I still don't know what these do, right? So again, look, 0 dB plus 4 dB. I think that's maybe giving you the so again, I'll try bringing this down. Let's see what. As you can see, like, it's still giving you more drive. It's still saturating more. So let's go to the V76 with the plug-in alliance. Not adding as much as distortion as the rest of them, which is odd. But it does seem to me like it's adding in the best low end. I do feel it's definitely rounder and to me that's a good thing for bass. That's what I like about the Acoustica Water, is that kind of low mid boost that you get. So I do love the low mid boost on this. So let's try them side by side. Yeah, this definitely has better lows in it. It brings out the lows a little bit more, and it's interesting how you can really crank it, but with this just wants to distort. So that's really interesting. I need to probably know what these things do. But yeah, I would say that would probably, I do love the distortion out of that. That's a cool thing to have. But I would say that for the low end, that low mid boost, I would say definitely. I think that's maybe why I liked it better on the kick as well. So I would say for lows and like low mid analog boost, this thing's really cool. It doesn't really do it on the snare for me, but I do really like it on the bass. It's clear as well. And again, I just think it clears everything up. So let's try it with the comp engaged this time. This again, this wins out for me. I just think the Slate just sounds a little bit harsh. Again, this just makes everything sound better. It just cleans everything up, brings in the lows in a really nice, clean way. And this, I was just bringing out stuff with the bass that I didn't like, and the compressor didn't add as much as I thought it was going to add. Where the U73 being here, again, that nice, clean, low mids, and it just, to me, it just compressed the lovely kind of low mid saturation that was coming through with the V76, and just complemented that and just tightened it up, and it's fantastic, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So this is the most important test, guys, right? It then is on the vocals. Again, I've had to bring the gain down and the input gain, because if I was to have it this at 64, it distorts quite a lot. So at certain parts of the songs, it's like in the quieter parts it's okay, but when he's singing a little bit higher and pushing his voice a little bit more, it distorts and it doesn't really sound nice. So what I like about the pre's with the V76 on vocals is the warmth, the character, and the focal presence that it gives you. It brings the vocals more to your attention. It's a little bit more intimate, and you could hear the breaths, and it just listen to it, right?
For I've been living in scenes from Harold and Maude, faking gruesome deaths, offending Catholic priests. So send this boy away, forsake him at your peril. There can only be one loser. I never knew why. We were only passing ships in the night, ignoring all the other passers by.
To me, there's a little bit more air. I just kind of feel like you hear the breaths a little bit more, and the saturation really helps the vocal. And I just think this is, in terms of the pre's, I think this wins out. Again, compare it to the Slate.
For I've been living in scenes from Harold and Maude, faking gruesome deaths, offending Catholic priests. So send this boy away, forsake him at your peril. There can only be one loser.
Yeah, this is definitely smoother. I just feel that the Slate's a little bit harsh, a little bit brittle. And I just think this is really nice, really nice. But to me, it's the U73b that's the most important thing for me when it comes to the vocals. It's one of my, again, a lot of people use 1176s. I use the U73b as my 1176. So again, I've got a fast attack, fast release. Okay, now just listen to what this does. I'll just love this. I love it.
For I've been living in scenes from Harold and Maude, faking gruesome deaths, offending Catholic priests. So send this boy away. Forsake him at your peril. There can only be one loser. I never knew why. We were only passing ships.
See that ships, that this compressor, that's what that does to me. An 1176 cannot add as much saturation and bring it as to your attention as that does. It make it pop at the speakers as much as it does. It's really, really smooth, and it just that's lush. Really, and I think what it's doing to me is the U73b in conjunction with the preamp. What it's doing is, because the two of them I think work so well together, it kind of acts more like the Arturia. It gives you that smoothness that I hear from that, and you get those breaths. So let's compare that to the Slate.
For I've been living in scenes from Harold and Maude, faking gruesome deaths, offending Catholic priests. So send this boy away. Forsake him at your peril. There can only be one loser. I never knew why. We were only passing ships.
Yeah, that's night and day to me. I think the low mids, again, that kind of that low weight that the plug-in Alliance adds really enhances the track, and again just makes it enhances the voice. It's going to help it to sound a little bit bigger in the mix. It's smoother. It's not bringing up any of those kind of artifacts I feel the Slate does. I feel the Slate's harsh in comparison. This is just on. This is a godsend, right? So guys, let's just finish up by saying that the pre's, in terms of the pre's, there are differences, but I do think that where this one shines is combining the compressor with the pre. The pre's great. I think on certain things you will hear that it enhances, it takes away, cleans up. I think that's one thing I've never really seen many pre's do. It cleans up and it only enhances the mids, in my opinion, that actually enhance the source. And I think that out of them all, the Arturia is really good. I'm not going to lie, the Arturia is really cool. This compressor, I think now I could say this is the best U73 that I've heard. I am over the moon with this plug-in Alliance. NEOLD, I don't know, I still don't know how to say it. Well done to you as well, because I know plug-in Alliance are just basically the manufacturer that are shipping this out to us. So this manufacturer here, what a fantastic job you did, and I will look out for other plugins that you release. So really, really impressed, guys. Plug-in Alliance subscription bundle. Buy it, subscribe, do what you need to do, and I will see you again next Wednesday. Mix on Wednesdays. Check out the other videos that I've released today. I've done 2 other videos, one on Fairchilds and another one on Pultex. Check them out, and I'll see you again soon.